Welcome to the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I am Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men, where we talk about being free via location-independent income through your own location-independent business, dating multiple attractive women all at the same time with no lying or cheating or drama, the freest lifestyle a man can possibly live. If you are watching the video version of this, you can probably tell I've changed my location yet again. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the last video you will see with this goddamn background. I am still in Dubai, waiting for my apartment, waiting for keys for my apartment. I'm in an Airbnb temporarily here. Got a whole bunch of boxes stacked up against the wall. Got a bunch of furniture in a storage unit. I'm just patiently waiting so I can finally be settled after being homeless for about 3 months. Yay! Let me back up. I have been living this lifestyle, Alpha Male 2.0 non-monogamous lifestyle, for 16 years. I'm going into my 17th year in just a few months. I think February of 2024, it will be 17 years. Is that right? Started in 2007. I think my math is correct. In that time, I have dated literally dozens and dozens and dozens of women in long-term, multi-year, non-monogamous relationships. Okay? I've been doing this for a long time. In 16 years, I have never had any dry spells, not once. In 16 years, I have never done monogamy, not once. Not one time in 16 years was I only having sex with one woman. I am one of the few people on the planet Earth who can say this, including men from the red pill world, including men who are pickup artists. I'm one of the few men on Earth who can say that. And this is another statistic from my life, and this is a true statistic. In the last 16 years, I have never had a bad breakup. Not once, not from one woman once, ever. Never had a bad breakup. And with my model, you have FB, MLTR, and then there's a listen fitty where they leave and then they come back. I have a 94% return rate when they come back. But when they leave, it's never negative. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes they just ghost and they just don't say anything and they just leave. That's happened, but that's not a bad breakup. That's fine. I know they'll be back. I don't care. So I've never had a bad breakup in 16 years of dating more women than the average 10 men will ever date in their entire lives. And these average 10 men, most of their breakups are going to be bad, right? You have a traditional monogamous relationship with a girlfriend or a wife, you get divorced, it's bad. Now, have I ever had bad breakups? Yes, before I was Alpha Male 2.0. Back when I was a beta male, I got divorced from my first wife, and it was bad. It wasn't horrible. There's a lot worse divorces that I've heard of than mine, but it was still bad. It sucked. It wasn't a happy experience at all. It was bad. She was mad. I was mad. Yeah. When I was monogamous, when I was the normal, typical monogamous beta male or monogamous alpha male 1.0. Monogamous alpha male 1.0s have worse breakups than monogamous beta males because they get more mad. Imagine if Andrew Tate had a serious monogamous girlfriend and she dumped him. He would go ballistic. It would be the worst breakup in your life. Right. So, I have talked about how bad breakups are conducive only to monogamous relationships. When you live non-monogamous alpha 2.0 relationships managed correctly, you will not have bad breakups. If you get monogamous with a woman, most of your breakups will be bad. And this is a typical monogamous person, right? This typical serial monogamous person, most of the breakups they have are bad. Ask any monogamous guy, ask any monogamous woman, they'll tell, right? And occasionally they'll have a monogamous breakup that's okay, and that'll be the exception to the rule. Like, wow, that actually wasn't too bad. We're still friends. But that's the exception and not the norm. Right, because monogamy breeds bad breakups. Non-monogamy, Alpha 2.0 style, does not. And I mentioned this, I think, in a live stream a few weeks ago. And some of you asked, can you explain why that is? Because other men, you guys have seen this. When you follow my material and you follow my dating models, you see the same thing. Wow, I don't have bad breakups. This is great. Women leave and they still like me and they come back and they fuck me. It's great. So you've seen it. But in this podcast, I'm going to give you the 4 reasons why that occurs. Because I don't think I've ever addressed this directly. But this is certainly the truth. If you're monogamous, you're going to have bad breakups. If you're non-monogamous, Alpha 2.0, you're not. You're just not. Now, non-monogamous Alpha 2.0. You and I could point to various people who had like open marriages or open relationships that were non-Alpha 2.0 who did have bad breakups. Okay, Will Smith. Okay, or he hasn't broken up there, has he? Oh my God, how fucked up is that? So we've all seen that, but those were I've written articles about those. Those were mishandled open non-monogamous relationships. They were not handled correctly. I've given you a model fault, the cardinal rules, the 3 phases. You follow my models, you're not gonna have bad breakups. Literally, you're not. Why is that? All right, reason number 1 is because in a monogamous relationship, the attraction is low. The attraction a woman has for a man is much lower than in a non-monogamous alpha 2.0 relationship. When an FB or MLTR is seeing you in a non-monogamous alpha 2.0 relationship, her attraction for you is very high. And the reason she leaves you is because the attraction is still high, but you're not following the female imperative. You're not following the model. Hey, you're supposed to marry me and have kids, and why aren't you doing that? And you're supposed to get exclusive and kiss my ass. That's why women leave alpha male 2.0s and then come back later, because the attraction is still there. In a monogamous relationship, is that true? Is she super attracted to you at the end of your relationship? No. She has no attraction for you, so she has no motivation to treat you well. This is why monogamous relationships, especially when you live with a woman, are conducive to the woman treating you like shit. She can treat you like shit and you'll stay and put up with it. And she'll treat you like shit because she's not attracted to you. The attraction is low. She might need you around for financial reasons, but she's not attracted to you sexually, physically, emotionally. Her attraction level is very low. So when attraction level is low, drama goes up, and that includes breakups. So during a breakup or divorce, she has no reason to be nice to you at all. And so she can be as bitchy as she wants because her attraction is low. If her attraction is still high, she has subconscious motivation to not be a total bitch. She might snap at you a little and then leave, but I don't even have that because she still is attracted to you. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, in monogamous relationships, more promises were made than in non-monogamous relationships, including OLTRs. So FB, MLTR, OLTR, much less promises and commitments have been made to a woman than in a monogamous relationship. That's why I've said, in many respects, in many cases, men who have OLTR wives like me, they live with a woman full time, they live with their girlfriend or wife, OLTR model, have more freedom than men who have monogamous girlfriends they don't live with. Because under a monogamous relationship, you have made and committed to all kinds of rules, promises, and restrictions to her that you have not made in a monogamous relationship. So when all these promises are made, the long-term expectations are higher. So if a breakup occurs, the disappointment is higher. So she was pissed, now she's really pissed. Because she was planning in her female Disney brain to be with you, quote, forever. And now she's not. She's leaving you because you've been an asshole or because you're boring or because you're irritated, whatever reason she's going to give. And now she's really fucking pissed. If she was an FB or MLTR, she wouldn't feel that way. She didn't have those long-term hardcore expectations. Desires, but not expectations. Even in an OLTR, she has less of those than in a normal monogamous relationship where she said, you're going to do this and this and this and this. And you go, okay, okay, I'll follow your rules, okay. And then, in 5 years, we're going to do this, and then we're going to have kids, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then you're going to do this, and treat me like this. And you go, okay, okay. And you're agreeing all these goddamn rules. That creates a lot of expectation that doesn't happen, that all comes crashing down when she breaks up from you. Okay? So that means she's even more pissed off. In addition to her not being attracted to you. So attraction for you is low, and the promises she views were violated by you. By the way, if you have a divorce or a breakup where a woman lived with you, and those of you who have been through a divorce or a breakup where the woman lived with you for many years, who does she blame for the breakup? Just about every fucking time. When a woman breaks up with a man she was living with, who does she blame? Have you ever in your life, because I don't think I've seen this, maybe I've seen this after the fact once or twice. Have you ever in your life seen a woman going through a divorce or a breakup with a man she was living with saying, the woman says, this was all my fault, I fucked this up? Have you ever heard that from a woman in your life? Because I haven't. Who does she blame? You. She blames the guy. And why does she do that? Well, in a feminine world, it's because you, quote, made all these promises. Now you didn't. She made demands and you said, okay. But in her world, in her perception, you made all these promises now and for the long-term future, and you, quote unquote, fucked it up, and now she's mad at you. None of this happens in a non-monogamous alpha 2.0 marriage. Marriage, relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, OLTR, it doesn't happen. In an OLTR, you have some of this, it's a percentage. But even in an OLTR, my wife, unlike a traditional monogamous wife, knows there are limits to her behavior, and there are limits to what she can do and limits to what she can expect from me. Because I live in the real world. I don't live in a Disney fantasy fairy tale from 1952, where if you get married and you're in love, you just stay together forever, no matter what happens. No. A relationship has to be earned. Every day, a woman has to earn your continued relationship in an Alpha 2.0 relationship. In a monogamous relationship, she's entitled to you. And if it doesn't work, she blames you. So now she's extra pitch. Okay. Reason number 3, and this one should be obvious. In a monogamous relationship, drama was already a standard, a precedent already set in the relationship. So in most long-term monogamous relationships, even some short-term ones, drama is just, as I've talked about for many years in all my books, blogs, articles, everything, drama is the norm. Arguing, yelling, screaming, that's just part of the relationship that she just gets accustomed to. So now it is the norm, quote unquote, for her to yell at you and scream at you. It is now the norm. So for her to yell at you, scream at you, and have a horrible breakup or divorce is just an extension of the norm. It's nothing new. Whereas in a non-monogamous Alpha 2.0 relationship, drama is the exception. She gives you drama, she gets fucking hard nexted. So she learns very quickly to not give you drama. So that is the precedent you set in the relationship, is not giving you drama, not screaming your head off. When you have a disagreement, you come to each other in a normal tone of voice without aggressively calling names or making threats, and you handle it like two adults. That's the precedent you have in an Alpha 2.0 relationship, right? So why would she all of a sudden transform and turn into a total bitch? It doesn't make sense. She wouldn't do that. You've already established a precedent for mutual respect and happiness, including in a breakup. So when she leaves you in a non-monogamous relationship, she just leaves. She doesn't yell at you. She doesn't argue with you. You didn't violate any promises. You got along great. You never argued. That's what happens. It's awesome. Okay? Reason number 4, and this one's a little harder to explain. This is the last reason. And there are probably other reasons I'm not thinking of, but these are the big 4. Is that the challenge with monogamy, and I've talked about this in great detail, this is nothing new. The problem with monogamy, one of the many challenges with it, is that it puts all of your focus and all of your hopes and dreams and all of your desires on one person, your partner. That's it. So the woman in a monogamous relationship has to be hot. She has to be smart. She has to be good in bed. She has, if you want a kid, she has to be a good mom. She maybe has to make money. She has to come from a good family. She has to be low drama. She has to be this and that and this and that and this and that. Because it's only one person, this one person has to be a superhuman. So all your expectations are on this one person. Okay? And this is true with her. All of her expectations are on your dumbass. All of them. All of her future expectations, all of her sexual expectations, her emotional expectations, her financial expectations, her Disney expectations, of which she has many because she's a girl. All these things are piled on just one person, you. In a non-monogamous relationship, you don't have that dynamic nearly as hard. In a non-monogamous relationship, your expectations and desires are divvied out among several different people. Now, certainly in an OLTR, that woman has much more of them than an FB, but it's still divvied out. Here's a real simple, stupid example from my side to the woman. I like women with big asses. So daddy likes. Pink Firefly's body is literally perfect, except her ass is small. It's like a little fit, CrossFit ass. Not bad, good, but I really like big giant bubble butts. So guess what? It's fine. All my FBs have big asses. Perfecto, wonderful. So I don't have to have all this expectation on Pink Firefly. Like, if she was a monogamous, I'd be like, oh man, I wish she had a bigger ass. And be like, can you get a butt lift? Can you get a BBL? And then you start like looking at other women with big asses and you're thinking about cheating and all this bullshit. So now I want you to swap that with her. Her expectations aren't necessarily sexual, but it's everything else. She expected this from you and that from you and this from you and that from you and this from you and that from you because you're the only guy on her radar. And now that's over. And she blames you. And she's not attracted to you. And you've established a precedent for drama. So now she's even more angry. You cut off all these expectations that you set on her. And she had all these expectations laid upon you. Now, she had expectations on several people, or even better, in the woman's case, she doesn't have those expectations. Pink Firefly, for example, knows if she starts flipping drama at me, she'll be out the fucking door within 48 hours. She knows this. So her expectations are tempered accordingly. She doesn't have these crazy Disney things where I can do whatever I want. I can yell at Caleb and he'll be there and no matter what and pay my bills for me or whatever, like she would in a monogamous relationship. You see all this baggage that's stacked upon a woman's psyche and a man's psyche. I haven't even talked about the man's side of this. I could in a future podcast. But all this crap that's piled up on her head mentally in a monogamous relationship that just all comes crashing down when the relationship ends, on top of her blaming you, not being attracted. All these things exacerbate each other. And that's why when you have a monogamous relationship, your odds, you're going to get broken up. You're going to have a breakup, okay? The actual real divorce rate, the statistical probability of you getting divorced in the Western world is well past 76%. 70 to 80% of all divorces are filed by the female. 3/4 of all girlfriend-boyfriend relationships are terminated by the female. And the number of girlfriend-boyfriend relationships that eventually end is something like 90, I don't remember the number, 97.2%, something like that. So if you're monogamous, you're going to have a breakup. It's going to happen. And the odds are high it's going to be bad. You're going to have a horrible time. It's going to ruin you. And ruin her. And it's going to take months to recover from. And it's going to be awful. And then you'll get monogamous again. And then you'll do it again. You'll get monogamous again. You'll have NRE. You'll have you'll have the honeymoon period. Oh, this is so great. I should have dated you. And it'll be great for a while. And then you'll have another breakup. And it'll be horrible again. And you'll keep doing it again and again and again and again and again because you're a psycho moron with all this bullshit societal programming and obviously biological wiring. Or a bunch of excuses about I couldn't be in an monogamous relationship because what if she fucks another guy? Okay, have fun with that. Or you can adopt my models and never have a bad breakup ever again. The last bad breakup I had was 17 years ago, before I was an alpha male 2.0, when I got divorced from a traditional monogamous wife. And since then, since 2007, dozens and dozens and dozens of women, it's a large list, I have never had a bad breakup. FBs, MLTRs, OLTR close, younger girls, older women with their 20s, 30s, 40s, doesn't matter, all different nationalities, white girls, American girls, European girls, Latina girls, Asian girls, you name it, not one bad breakup. And I've said this, I am still friends in terms of like occasionally with text or talk on social media or something like that with the vast majority of women on that list. We're still on good terms. Even the ones I don't have sex with anymore. I'm still friends with just about all of them. Just about all of them. Just about every woman I've had sex with twice, more than twice. A very large list, I'm still friends with them. Because we never had bad breakups. And a lot of these women come back. 94% return rate. So that's this works. So now you know what you're asking for if you get into a monogamous relationship. Hope you're aware of this. Have fun. Bye.